Hi, my name is Robert C. Mendez, and if this name sounds to you a little bit of Spanish, then yeah, that's right. I'm from Spain, especially from the northwest of Spain called Galicia. And well, I'm 52 years old now, and in the year 2016, I founded a little think tank here in Cologne, where I live in Germany. Um, and the think tank is called Internet of Voice. When we started with this little think tank in relation to making the internet speakable, because it is not speakable, um, we we go shopping to the gas station, bought some beers, and thought about the things we want to do. And what we didn't want to do is to build another agency to code skills. We did this many years, the last 20, 30 years now. We are four people in our think tank, the Alex, Sasha, Marius, and me. And we started to think, okay, if we want to make the internet speakable, well, we have to build an API like Google did. What does Google? Google made a lot of APIs that brought functions to the internet, and that's what we want to do with our API. And this API wants to make the internet speakable. We call it the voice assistant enabler. Okay, now we have a name. What we do with this API? Well, at the beginning we have to learn how to code skills. Okay, we have to learn what the systems are able to do. And we have to learn what the human communication is. And I think this point is much more important than we think, because we found out that if we didn't understand the communication of the humans, then we can't code good skills. And then we took a look on the skills there are on the market the last 3, 4 years. And if you are honest, then you see that the most skills and actions made on a voice bot are not based on natural behavior on a natural communication of our being. And that's we think is the main problem. So we have to find out what is all really about. What is really about is to be honest. We have to be honest. We have to take a look on the market and to use the speech assistants, the voice assistants we already have. And we have to be honest and say, okay, at the moment we can't use these systems in a natural way. We can't communicate with them like we talk to our mom or to our friends. It's not possible. I have to know exactly what I want to say. And well, if we use the systems, we get often very frustrated because the systems does not behave in a natural way. And that's the thing, that's the core of all, that we have to make a good solution. We hope we can do this with our API. The development of this API is running still 2 or 3 years, and I think it will take some years now, some years more. But okay, but what can we do to make this better? Yeah, like I said before, we have to understand the communication, the human communication, the human voice, and the human ear, and to make the conversations we have with the machine natural. The developments we did until today are based on strategies from the screen. The last decades, we developed everything for screens. And well, we are experts in designing for screens, but we all aren't experts in designing for voice, for smart. voice. And now we have to make a change, but we all didn't make a change, because if you use your voice bot, your Alexa, your Siri, your Google Assistant, there is maybe nearly any natural conversation with these machines. The conversation breaks very fast. Um, and that's the main thing we have to push us in another direction. And sorry for my English, I didn't talk it very much. I speak more Spanish and German, but I hope you understand it. It's much as cruel as it sounds for me at the moment right now. Um, well, okay, we have to overthink the strategies from the last decades. And at the moment, we didn't have done this. We are building smart voice applications and functions the same way like we did the last decades. And that's an error. Because the thing is, then if we start to develop any application, yeah, any function for our voice bot, then we are thinking about, okay, what we want to do, what kind of function do we want to build? But that's the wrong entry. The right entry is, what can I do for the user? And that's not a special function. That is the recognition of the intent of the user. If you take a look on Google, you will see that's not so bad. And okay, yes, it's not about building a function for the voice bot. It's about fulfill the user's intent. And I have to match my knowledge, my product, my service with the user's intent. If this not match, then maybe you are on the wrong way. And if I mean the user's intent, then I mean the situational intent, because your voice bot, normally it is every time with you, not only situated in a smart speaker in your kitchen or your living room or your working desk, like, and in your smartphone, everywhere you want to use your voice bot. And that means that you use it situational. And in every situation of your life, you will have other intents, maybe by fulfilling the same function. And well, that's a point of view for the development of voice bots that nearly at the moment nobody has. If you take a closer look on what is changing, we have to see what is the eye. Yeah, we use the last decades in the communication with machines, and what is the ear. And if I use screens in the communication with machines, then I input formal things, like if I want to buy some socks. But the intent behind this is not to freeze. That's the intent. That's why I want to buy socks. Or if I search a hotel on the screen, the intent why I'm searching a hotel is other. It is that I want to recover, to make a holiday or something, to get lucky, I don't know, to have a romantic dinner with my wife. Or if I'm looking to find the right medicine because I'm sick, then the intent behind searching some medicine is to get healthy. And that's what I want to say to you, that I want to tell you. That's what we have to think. That's what we have to work. When we start making anything, every kind of content, every kind of function, we first have to think about the intent, because that is what the user really wants. Just take a look at the change that voice assistants provide. um, the last decades we have used the screen, and that's a learned way of using media. It's a formal way. What we input there are actions like mouse clicks or text, and that's not emotional. And what Google did the last decades, or what the systems in the internet processed, is text. And voice bots are changing this. And they are, from the beginning, are built to process intents and voice, and that's emotional. That's a complete other way to talk with machines. To use voice and the ear is an emotional way to talk to machines and to steer them and to make our things. The input is not text, it is voice, and voice will be interpreted in various other ways. And what we process is not text, we process intents. And if you are coding skills, you will see this word intent very fast. And it is, we have to understand that this intent is not only a function by coding the skill or the action. It is what the human behavior is all about. The intent is influenced by our mindset. Well, in every situation of my life, I have another intent, and this intent is based on our mindset. If you think about, take a look at this screen. If someone is in love or is freshly separated, what will he input here in this text? I love you or I hate you. And based on this mindset, you will build other intents in your head. If you are freshly in love, then you have a other mindset, then you are freshly separated. And that means that you definitely, in your brain, you will build other intents at the actual situation you use your voice bot. To understand this, we clearly have to know what an intent is. What factors are influencing the user's intent, like the mindset? First, it's clear that our intent is formed by the situation we are actually embedded in. If I'm in the car, driving or not driving, I'm at work, I'm at home, it is every time another situation. And I use smart voice assistants in every situation. I want to use the voice bot and in another way and with other intents. At work, I will not have the same intents like at home or visiting my parents. Yeah, that means that we have to take a look when I use the voice bot. When. And when means the actual situation. I'm at breakfast, I'm on a conference, watching a movie with my friends. What is happening right now at the moment when I use my voice bot? This we have to recognize. And next, we have to recognize where. I'm in the kitchen, I'm in the garden, in the car. It is every time another location, and the location influences my intent. Yeah, and then comes the mood. In which mood I am in, actually. I'm relaxed, I'm stressed, I don't know. I'm maybe bored. And in every situation of my life, I'm in another mood. And I have to recognize the mood I'm in, the user is in, because the mood influences his intent. And yes, then the mindset comes in. The mindset means what type of people is he, of human is he? Is he pet loving, pet hating? Is he sporty or very pedantic? That's all informations, all factors that will influence the user intent. Yes, and then it comes in the informations, the data we all know from the past decades of working in the internet, the demographic data, and that's the actual point of view we have at the user. At the moment, we see the user in with the demographic data. We just look on the user to recognize him, to see who he is, but not what he wants. But now we have to change this. Yeah, we have to change the way we look on the user, and that means that we have not only to see who he is, but we have to see, to predict uh, what he wants. And that means that we have to use tools like predictive analytics to make this possible. And yes, we have very much data, demographic data for the use, and that's good. That's our first key we have to, our first factor to have any data to predict what the user wants. Uh, any other here, this four, when, where, mood, the mood and the mindset uh, are on top, and we have to use all this to predict what the user wants. And well, that's a thing we have to learn. It is more complex than in the last decades we have made developments for the machine. But that's what we have to do, because we are talking about the most emotional communication channel to the human, the voice and the ear, based on intents. Yes, and then last but not least, the human, the man, woman, the kid, grandpa, based on all these options will form their intents, their situational intents. And we have to take a very close look on our function, on that what we want to do, on our service, on our product, if that the thing we want to do is matching the user intent. That's the core of all. It is all about the intent and not voice. Yeah, and if you take a close look on the work of Google, you will see that nearly every development they made, especially for the Google search and the Google Assistant, are intent-based. And intent-based means oriented on our language, on the communication human to machine. And if you want a good quality by using the Google search, then you have to make your work, your content, and your processes speakable, because they are intent based. And some weeks ago, Google released some so-called need states, and these need states are intents. Take a look at them, thrill me, impress me, educate me, help me. That's all intents we have. We want to get surprised, we want help, we want get educated. That's our intents we have. And that's the thing. Google is clearly showing us what we have to do with the development of the Google Assistant, and especially the Google search. Just take a look at them. They have quality guidelines, and if you take a look at these quality guidelines, they really say clear what they see and how they what they mean with speakability, how to make the thing speakable for Google. And that's what is all about. And that's the same way we have to build our applications, our services on voice. and everything, our processes, our contents, we have to base them on an user intent. And our services, our brand, everything we do have to match this intent. If I take this as a core, as a root for my development, every kind of development, then I have a very good quality and a very good way to maybe become the point of fulfillment for the user. And then my service, my brand, my voice function, my voice assistant will be used in a very good way by the user. And for the user, it is not so frustrating because we fulfill his intent. Yeah, um, if you look at this little square here, you can see that you have to find your situation of your brand, of your service, of whatever you want to do in this square. You have to take a look on the situation, on the user intent, the goals I have with my brand or with my service, and yeah, the product, service, or the voice function I want to offer. Where are you? Where can you situate your brand or your service in this square? You have to find out. And that's is how to make a difference from the actual development strategies we're having at the moment, and with them at the moment we fail very often. Just decide by yourself. Yeah, come to the intent side of thinking and design, because we are what is everything real about in the smart voice world. The human behavior, the core of human behavior and human communication with voice and the ear. Think about, decide by yourself. Thank you very much. Um, okay, I hope you understood what I told you, what I want to tell you. I recorded this in a very fast way. There were some server problems with the communication, but I hope you understand what I want to say. Don't hesitate to contact me, to talk with me. Speak German, Spanish, and a little bit English. Greetings from Cologne, Germany. And if you want to go on holiday, go to Galicia in Spain, the northwest of Spain. You will see we have cookies there. And thank you very much. Have a good time. Stay healthy.